And now, work as done by my little brother, the middle child, which, confidentially, is the first Ranma fic on this channel. I don't know how that happened, but we now have the first Ranma story on this channel. I feel kind of wrong. Chapter 1. Nabiki woke up with a slight groan. She felt a strong throbbing in her forehead as she got up. She let out a gasp as she held her chest, feeling a twisting sensation causing her to keel over in bed. Her vision began to blur with searing pain. Then she took a look to the side, seeing a black treasure box in the chest. A flicker of a long-forgotten memory caused the pain to subside. She got up and walked over to the box. I haven't thought about this box in years. She picked it up and looked it over before setting it back down. I thought I put it away. At the dinner table, Nabiki continued her day as normal, paying no mind to the searing pain earlier in the morning. She did notice, however, something peculiar as she ate breakfast. Bland, Nabiki thought to herself. No, it tastes ashy. Why? Akane smiled as he sat down. See? I'm improving my cooking. Rama scoffed. Yeah, instead of tasting poison, it just tastes bland. What? Akane punched him. That would be why it tastes bland. Nabeki thought to herself with a chuckle, though it tastes more ashy than bland. Nabeki sighed as she sat at her desk. A feeling of melancholy began to overcome her. She just stared at the window, eyes silently scanning the clouds outside. Excuse me. Kuno's voice was a distant murmur in her mind. Nabiki's eyes lazily wandered over to him. Hey, Kuno, baby. Kuno tapped his finger onto her desk with a hint of impatience. I need more of those pictures you have. Nabiki looked away again, her voice going flat. Not in the mood. Really? Kuno's brow creased. Then what is bothering you? Right now, you. Nabiki got up, winced, and turned to heat up. Felt a burning heat go through her head. Kuno rose from the desk with concern in his eyes. Nabiki? Nabiki got up and headed out of the room, much confused with the other classmates. Nabiki panted as she looked through the mirror. She covered her mouth as a series of rough, loud coughs racked her body. She took a look at one of her hand, seeing several crimson splotches in the form of petals in her hand. The ends of each splotch turned black. Nabiki let out a gasp before backing away. Think, I really do need a doctor. Her voice came out in heavy breaths. She began to walk out of the bathroom, her hand gripping the doorway as leverage. Her breaths became heavier and heavier as she slowly stepped out, her vision darkening, as she felt her legs give out, sending her plummeting to the ground before a pair of strong arms caught her. Connie held Nabiki in the middle of the hall, panic flashing in her eyes. Someone call the doctor! She screamed as she held Nabiki close. Nabiki's eyes closed with a single black line of fluid coming from her lip. The doctor looked over Nabiki's sleeping form. Blood from the mouth, hardening of the veins. I've never seen anything like this. He looked at the nurse next to him. I have. The doctor blinked as he watched the blonde doctor descend from the window. Dr. Lin, what the hell are you doing here? Not important. What is important is what's happening to her. Dr. Lin walked into the sterile room and over to Nabiki. She reached over to her chest and donned a pair of gloves. She carefully opened a part of her gown. She saw black veins covering her heart. A look of recognition on her face. As I thought. Hanahaki. Lin looked at her fellow doctor. Is the patient's family here? Her sister is. As her sister's friend, the doctor said. I've already called the rest of her family. Good. She handed a clipboard. I need to prepare the patient. Tell them what I told you. Inside the hospital waiting room, Sue's hands grabbed the doctor's cloak tightly and began to shake him. Please, tell me what's wrong with my daughter. The doctor's voice grew shaky as he tried to speak. She's infected with Hanahaki. Please stop shaking me. Kasumi placed a gentle hand on her father's shoulder. Father, please stop harassing the poor doctor. Soon wiped his face as he let the man go. I'm sorry. Akane got up from her chair, Rama falling close behind. Isn't Hanahaki that disease caused by unrequited love? Akane asked. You've been reading too many fanfics, Dr. Lin's voice said. She was hanging on the ceiling like a ninja before falling down, landing in front of them. The other doctor moaned. Dr. Lin, will you please arrive in a normal manner? No, Dr. Lin said before looking at the family. Hanahaki doesn't cause literal plants to grow in your chest. In reality, it's a disease that manifests as severe depression-like symptoms, often accompanied by a unique vascular condition that causes the blood to take on petal-like appearance when it hardens. So you look at Kane, it is slightly magical in nature as it feeds off the inner heartbreak of the victim. And that doesn't have to be from unrequited love. It can be caused by a lack of romantic, platonic. Lynn's blue-green eyes narrow as she scanned the family, or familial. Soon stepped back, slacked on. What are you saying? Kasumi put her hand to her chest. That we might not love her enough? Lynn's eyes softened. Sorry, didn't mean for it to come off like that. I was just merely making an example. Rama mutters something. Can't believe that Nabiki would feel anything like depression. Akane stepped forward. Is there something we could do? Two things, Lin said while holding up a finger. Both are dangerous. We use surgery, which could fix it, but has a 90% mortality rate. The other option is to have someone skilled in martial arts psychotherapy. That's me, by the way. Lin pointed to herself with a smile. And have someone close to the patient go into her mind and kill the infection right out. However, this has a 20% chance of killing both. A deafening silence filled the room, thick with uncertainty. I'll do it, Akane said, stepping forward, her fists clenched. Rama stopped, putting his hands on his head. Well, Akane, should you let me do it? It has to be me, Rama. Akane closed her eyes before opening them again. Take us to her. The family gathered into the hospital room and got a good look at Nabiki. Nabiki's face was contorted in anguish. Her neck was filled with black veins pulsating with vile venom. Akane winced as Lin pulled up a second bed for her to lay in. Akane let out a breath before taking Nabiki's hand. Lin put on a pair of gloves and placed a cold finger to both sisters' neck. This won't hurt a bit. Akane awoke in the large crimson bed. She growled as she rubbed the back of her neck. That actually hurt! You must be quite sensitive to feel it. Lin's voice said with a small giggle. Akane looked around, noticing that the bed had draped down around her with gold sequins along the edges of fabric. The room was decorated with a vanity mirror at the end and a small window overlooking a large field on the right. The door leading out of the room was large and gold. The room itself was pure white with red carpeting. Akane got out of bed, noticing that she was dressed in a large red ball gown. She then touched her head, noticing a small silver tiara with a red gem adorned on it. This is your mindscape, Akane, Lin said. You need to find a door out before you get to Nabiki. Lin hummed. Find a door that looks like it would be in front of an office. Akane slightly stepped across the carpet and headed out the door. She was in a long, straight silver hallway, adorned with several portraits of her family, and Rama himself. She blessed the painting of Rama, who was dressed in a royal red shirt with golden shafts. She moved down the hallway, leading to a large throne room. Behind the throne was indeed an out-of-place white door that was very plain. White doorknob, white paint. It contrasted sharply with the teal hull that was placed on. Akane quickly made her way to the door, gripped the knob, and pulled. You know, this Hanahaki syndrome sounds horrible, but it's not as bad as Himasawa syndrome. Speaking of which, why is my neck itchy? Akane stepped out into a purple void all around her. There were several doors with a swirling vortex around her. She looked down, noticing that her outfit had changed into a white gi. Below her was a single, pale, see-through walkway stretching to one direction. I connected you two, so that walkway should lead you to Nabiki, Dr. Lin said. Akane looked over the walkway to slowly fall. What happens if I fall? You'll just float in midair and I have to pull you back, Dr. Lin said. Akane stretched her legs, feeling her muscles tense before she began jogging along the hallway. The walkway started going up, as if on a hill before down again, leading to a golden door. Akane went through the door, finding herself in a parking lot right in front of a large mall with a neon sign on top saying Nabiki. Connie looked down. Noticing she was dressed in a black vest over an orange blouse, and black jeans coming down to her black loafers. She stretched one leg out over the threads. Does the Mind Scully have a dress code or something? I always wondered that myself, Glenn said. Now that you're here, you'll need to find Nabiki's most precious thing. That'll be where the Hanahaki will be attacking. And where will I find that? Akane frowned as she crossed her arms. Nabiki doesn't really tell me much of anything, you know. If you explore her mind, you may find clues. Dr. Lynn said, I will warn you. If you spend too much time, my voice may be silenced and I'll no longer be able to help you. Got it. Akane walked towards the entrance to the mall. No pressure at all, she said with sarcasm. She found herself on the top floor at a cross-shaped intersection. Several stores lined up to the left and right of her. She looked down at the skyline, seeing skylight shining through the top window, along with various flags and posters showing a smiling Nabiki hawking some sort of product. Akane turned and moved to the left, seeing one of the stores nearby. She stopped at a shoe store named Boyless Shoe Store. Boyless? Akane asked as she entered. The store had a strong smell of leather, with lightning that darkened the room, showing halls and halls of men's shoes. Hello? Akane asked. Yo, Nabiki's voice said. Akane looked to the left, seeing Nabiki, dressed in a brown suit and tie, sitting at a counter. Welcome to the Boyless Shoe Store. Can I help you? Akane walked up to her. Yes, do you know where the most precious thing is? Nabiki tossed her head. We don't sell anything like that here. Akane looked off to the side and grumbled. Figures. She turned and looked around at the shoes. Why is there a man's shoe store here? Akane mused as he picked up a black sneaker. Then he let out a gasp. She found herself sitting at a table. At one side was Soon, and the other her mother. Soon, her mother said, I don't think you're going to get a boy. We tried with Kasumi, and then with Nabiki, and then with Akane. Let's stick with who we got. She reached over and with one hand and placed it over Soon's. Soon looked away. Akane's eyes lingered over his more youthful face, free from the wrinkles he was used to. Soon spoke. I just thought I'd at least have one male heir. It's the modern times, her mother said gently. You can have a female heir. I just feel so embarrassed, Son clenched his fist. I mean, we thought Nabiki was going to be a boy so much we bought boys' clothes. Akane noticed a figure near the door. A small child with short brown hair stood there. Nabiki? Akane whispered. The child had tears in her eyes. Akane dropped the shoe in response. She looked at Nabiki on the counter, breath hitched, and eyes widened. Nabiki was just staring at her with a bored expression. Akane immediately ran out. Sorry, I have to go, Akane said. She stopped at the wall next to the store and leaned her back to it. Oh, Nabiki. Her breathing began to slow. Akane, are you okay? Dr. Lin asked. Did you see that? Akane asked back, looking up at the skylight. I'm afraid I didn't. Any of Nabiki's memories are only available to you, Lin said. Akane's eyes turned down to the marble floor before clenching her fist. She looked up and began to move down to the next door on the left. It was a dimly lit clothing store with the name Secondhand Clothes. Akane made her way inside. The area was white, with black carpeting on the ground. She turned to the counter, seeing a Nabiki suit at the counter, who gave her a light wave. Akane waved back before going to some of the clothing rack. Each outfit was in various stages of disrepair. Some had shortened sleeves, others had tighter bonds. Still more were clearly torn at the seams. Akane looked at the counter behind her. Hey, some of these are pretty torn up. Nabiki smiled. That's why these are so cheap. Akane frowned as he turned to the clothes. Cheapskate. She muttered as he tugged at one of the sleeves. Akane was standing in front of a dimly lit dressing room. In front of her Soon knelt, watching a 9-year-old Kasumi twirl around in a small pink gown with a laugh. Soon also took the time to give a 6-year-old Akane a small pink shirt and nudged her towards the dressing room. The small Nabiki pulled at her father's shirt. Daddy, what do I get? Soon gave a tired sigh. It was a question he didn't want to answer. We only have enough to get Kasumi and Akane new clothes. Nabiki, you'll just have to wear Kasumi's, okay? Nabiki looked down across her arms. Okay. Akane pulled away. Wait, Kasumi's... Is that why you keep stealing my stuff? She shouted back at the rack. How's that fair? You can't just steal my clothes out of some sort of stupid revenge. Not my fault that Dad keeps buying me new things. A hand slammed down on the desk, interrupting Akane's tirade. Akane turned to see the counter and Nabiki glaring at her. Get out, Nabiki said, her hands clenched. But... Akane raised her voice. Before she could speak, two figures in black suits flanked her, and a swift motion hurled her from the store. She watched as the door slammed the shutters in front of her. Akane! Dr. Lin said in a panicked voice. Careful! If her subconscious finds out that you're here, it may try to eject you out of her mind. Akane dusted off her pants. Right. She crossed her arms. Still not fair. She looked down the hall, watching it curve to a third store. Akane stopped before she made a single step. Her eyes slowly turned to a small mural that hung along the curved wall. The mural showed two shadowy girls walking hand in hand towards the second-hand clothes store. Akane put a hand to it and began to walk alongside it. The two girls seemed to be walking in tandem. They didn't start off as teenage girls, that seemed to grow younger every 10 steps Akane took. Akane began to ask, Where's Nabiki? She went along the curve before stopping at the next door. Sitting alone on a shadow tree was a third girl, watching the two leave. Hey! Akane whispered as she put her hand in the spot where the third girl was. You can't leave her behind, she said, her breath hitched a bit. Please, turn back! She put her forehead to the wall. This isn't right. It isn't right. Don't stop, Lin whispered. Give me a minute, Akane shouted, punching the wall in front of her. Give me a minute. As her breathing slowed down, she turned to the third store. The store was called 1 Yen Store. Akane slowly entered. It was almost pitch black, so much that the wares were hard to see. She looked around, seeing the various knickknacks with the aid of the light behind her. Hello? She asked. She noticed a small counter in the back with a figure behind it. She made her towards it, only for her foot to strike a small jar she didn't see. Akane found herself at an elementary school festival. I remember this. She made her way through the stalls. Yeah. She watched from afar. Several young boys were getting cupcakes for Kasumi. This was Kasumi's last year at elementary. She looked down at a group of stalls. A younger version of her was running after a boy, tackling him. This is where I met Yuka. A dumb boy stole her scrunchie and I had to get it back. She laughed. A small chortle, really. But now's not the time for romancing. She looked around. If I remember right, Nabiki's stall was down here. She looked down at a group of stalls. There Nabiki was waiting. She was selling pictures of various wildlife around her. Akane walked closer, noticing that Nabiki's was glistening with tears. Akane's own eyes turned to a small jar in front of the young girl. There was only 1 coin. Akane kept moving forward. Nabiki, was I your only customer that day? She whispered, before heading to the counter. Hey! Her pupils turned to tip pricks at the sight. A skeleton was leaning on the counter, her outfit the same as the other Nabikis. It was closing at a jar with only 1 coin. Akane let out a horrified scream before running out of the store, clinging to the rails of the first floor. She slipped down and began to breathe heavily. Akane! Lin said. We're killing her! Akane screamed. This is our fault! We're killing her! Her forehead leaned against the railing. Akane, I know you're upset, Lin said, her voice remained calm. Many before you have seen similar things, but don't give up. You can still save her. You're the only one who can. Akane let out a shaky breath as she used the railing to pull herself back up. Good girl, Lin said. Keep going. It's going to be hard, I know. But you're getting there. I can feel it. Akane sniffed and rubbed her face with her sleeve. She looked up at the posters. Where Nabiki was once smiling, she was now frowning. Akane looked down again, seeing an escalator going down to the first floor. She swallowed and clenched her fist before heading down. On the first floor, several of the stores were closing, except for one on the other end of the mall. A theater showing a movie, The Game of Love and Friendship, a comedy by Nabiki Tendo. Akane moved to the reception desk, seeing Nabiki sitting in an attendant outfit smiling at her. Akane walked over and produced some money. 1 ticket, please, she said. Thank you very much. Nabiki smiled at her as he handed Akane the ticket. Akane moved to the theater seats, passing faceless patrons before she found a spot with one empty seat next to her. The lights dimmed as the theater curtains opened to reveal the screen. The game of love and friendship. The screen flickered to life. Then saw Nabiki in her middle school attire, sitting in a small treasure box. New year, new me. She put the treasure box onto her desk shelf before heading out. I'm Nabiki Tendo, 12 years old, the voiceover said, and today begins the rest of my life. Nabiki was walking slowly behind Akane and Kasumi, with Kasumi holding the elementary schooler's hand. Things are still kind of hard, though. Nabiki's hand reached for Akane, then froze. She sighed as he put her hand back. But I'll manage. Nabiki was putting her shoes away in her locker, overhearing her classmates. Kasumi's so pretty. She's so nice. She even helped me with my homework. Kasumi's so great. Nabiki startled to herself. Always Kasumi. Akane then began to hear a small amount of giggling from around her. She looked around at faceless masses, her frown deepening. Hey, a boy was talking to Nabiki. Want to go out sometime? Nabiki looked down from her desk. A smile began to slowly come to her face. Sure. The scene fast-forwarded to a park in the daytime. So, the same boy said, I actually want to talk to Kasumi instead. I just thought, since you were her sister. Nabiki clenched her fist, then let out a breath. 1,000 yen. What? 1,000 yen and I'll take you right to Kasumi. Nabiki's voice was shaking. Akane then began to hear cacophonous laughter from all around the theater. This isn't funny, she whispered. Stop laughing. Another boy asked me for you, Nabiki said, as he stood in the kitchen where Kasumi was making dinner. Kasumi didn't look as he said, Oh? Yeah, it's like they only talked to me to get to you. Nabiki gripped the doorway tightly. I don't know. Part of me wonders what I could do to get them to just focus on me instead. Maybe if you were more feminine, Kasumi said. Nabiki just stared at her, the grit of her teeth before turning and heading towards the stair. As he noticed the little Akane walking up before her, longer hair. Akane? You're letting your hair grow? Nabiki asked. Akane stopped and nodded. Yep. Kasumi said that if I were too tomboyish, Dr. Tofu wouldn't look at me. Nabiki gripped the banister of the stairs even tighter. The laughter increased. Akane began to shout, her voice growing more ragged. Stop it! This isn't funny! She was about to get up when a hand gripped hers. She turned her head to see Nabiki smiling at her. Nabiki was now in a long black dress with a V-cut neckline. She had long black necklaces and pearl bracelets. Oh no, Akane. I think it's very funny. She leaned into Akane's face. The movie's not over yet, by the way. Akane's breath hissed before she turned to the screen. Nabiki was in her first year of high school now. As she sat at her desk, she heard boys talking. Wow, Kasumi's so great. I know, she's so nice. See, she's graduating. Not my type. Nabiki's heart skipped a beat at that. She looked at the desk before, tense on the boy who just spoke. It was a tall boy in a kendo glove. She believed his name was Takawaki Kuno. He had his eyes closed at thought. She's nice, no doubt about that. But I prefer women with more personality. Then our boys then murmured amongst themselves. Nabiki poked him in the back. Hey, Kuno? Kuno turned his head to look at her. Yes? You don't like Kasumi that way? Nabiki asked. Her face became more contemplative. Not in the romantic sense, no. Kuno smiled before crossing his arms. She's nice, but what else is there? I'd rather meet a girl with a fire in her. I'm her sister, Nabiki. Nabiki said, looking away slightly. Oh, my apologies. Kuno muttered. I didn't. No, it's fine. I get tired of hearing how amazing my sister is compared to me. Nabiki's arms relaxed a bit. Ah, I see. Simply rivaling. I know that feeling too well. He gave him an instant laugh, and Nabiki almost blushed. Akane stared at this. What? Nabiki headed home, skipping her step. Kasumi was walking behind her. Nabiki? Did something happen? Nabiki looked over his shoulder. I think I made a friend today. Yep, a friend. 1 year later, Nabiki was at her desk overlooking a paper. Almost ready. Nabiki! Akane knocked on her door. We're gonna be late. I'm coming already, Nabiki shouted. She took one last look at the treasure box before heading out. Akane shook her head quickly. No, I know what's coming. Please stop. Tears stung her eyes. Nabiki kept a vice grip on Akane's hand. No way. This is my favorite part. Kuno stood at the podium. Only someone who could best the fair Akane Tendo could date her. Nabiki sat at the auditorium, eyes wide with shock. She went to the floor, hands clenched to the point of drawing blood. Later at the entrance to the school, Akane was putting her shoes on. Stupid Kono, why did you have to do that to me? She sighed as she got near Nabiki. Is he normally like this? Nabiki spoke in a quiet voice. Don't follow me. She stormed off. She barely registered Akane's call of, wait! Nabiki could only say to herself, if you want her so bad, I'll let you have her while I drain you of every last cent. Akane's face burned with tears. Please, no more. She whispered, shaking her head. Nabiki could laugh. Don't worry, it's almost over. She patted Akane on the shoulder. Just one more scene. Nabiki entered her room, closing it to the sounds of Akane and Ranma's shouting match. I could see it in her eyes. She walked over to her desk, staring at the treasure box. For one swift moment, she opened the dress door and shoved a box inside. Love at first sight, huh? For a minute there, I almost thought I had something. But I soon realized Ranma was going to pick Akane. She got out a choked laugh. Well, that's it. I only have money. Money is the only thing I care about. Money never betrays me. Nabiki put her hand to her eye. Money never leaves me. She slumped over her desk, words catching in her throat. Money never hurts me. Sobs wrapped her body. Nabiki left her seat with a laugh. The end. She walked up as the people disappeared. Like that, Akane? Akane slept over her seat. I don't understand, Akane whispered. She got out of her seat and looked at Nabiki through tears. Why don't you ever tell us? Nabiki spat at the ground, her voice hardening. Don't make me laugh. You don't care. None of you do. She almost shouted at her. No one cares. Not you, not Kasumi, not even my own parents. The only one that matters is me. Nabiki, you're hurt. Akane reached out her hand. Let me help, please. Nabiki swatted Akane's hand away. Don't touch me. Don't even start with that kindness crap that Kasumi beat into your skull. She was breathing heavily. But you're dying. Dying? Nabiki's smile grew wide. Of course. I'm going to die. I won't care anymore after that. Nabiki began to laugh madly. I wonder if I'll reincarnate into a rich businesswoman. She pointed to Akane. Same, you won't find out. Guards! Seize her! Akane watched as several men's suits began materializing before her. She immediately bolted for the doors. Come on! She ran out, seeing the mall darken, every store closing with loud shutters. No. Akane closed her eyes, calling out with desperate pleas. This can't be the end! Akane. Akane's eyes widened. Not all stores were closed. One remained at the very end of the wall. It was out of the way at a very small entrance, with bright white light emanating from it. A neon sign flickered above, spelling out hope. Akane made a break for it, running straight into the store, turning to see several guards stopped at the entrance. They were looking around as they couldn't see the entranceway. A pair of arms wrapped themselves around Akane, giving her a familiar feeling of warmth. Nabiki's voice leaned into her ear. They can't see this place. Akane watched as the guards left. The arms stopped enveloping her, allowing her to take a closer look at the store. There were various pictures of the walls, each one showing a faceless family. The store was pure white, with bright light brimming through the ceiling. You know, folks, I really gotta stop letting this kid play Silent Hill. It keeps giving him ideas. Oh god, and I also want to show him Higurashi sooner or later. Note to self, don't let him watch Higurashi. He really will get some ideas from that. Right in front of her, dressed in a long white dress, was Nabiki, smiling at her. Nabiki? Akane turned to the entrance, but... Nabiki closed her eyes. Yeah, that mall belongs to her. But this place? Nabiki waved her hand over the store. It's mine. What? Akane whispered. For years he's been breaking me down, bit by bit. But I managed to stay steady. Nabiki took Akane by the hand and began walking to a door in the back. I made sure this one store is invisible to her, so she won't get completely rid of me. She winked at Akane. Akane just stared at her when the tears finally came. Nabiki took her to her arms. Hey, don't be like that. You got a job to do, right? But I'm a horrible sister, Akane said, trying to speak through her sobs. You're dying and it's my fault. What? Based on a warped perception of the town world? Nabiki pulled her back, voice retreating to a gentle tone, and looked at her in the eyes with a frown. One thing I learned, Akane, when dealing with people, and this is the advice Mom gave, is that there are two sides to every story. She patted her shoulders. I know you and everyone else are doing their best for me, and I'm ungrateful, even if she won't let us admit it. She put a hand on the doorknob. Come on, you have to find my precious thing, right? Akane wiped her face, trying to calm herself, and nodded. But I don't know what that is. You've seen that movie, right? Nabiki asked. Yeah, and it showed me how much you've been suffering, Akane whispered bitterly. You know the problem with darkness? Nabiki crossed her arms. You focus too much on it, you can't see what truly matters. Akane stopped and looked at the marble floor. The treasure box! The realization coming to her. Nabiki snapped her fingers. You got it. Now come on. She opened the door. It led to a large open field, with a road leading to the Tendo household. Above were dark clouds and several vines coming down like grasping tendrils. Akane watched in awe. Oh my god. Come on, Akane. One final stretch. Nabiki took Akane by the hand. I'm here with you. Akane nodded and made the slow walk towards the house. Akane raised a shaky hand to the door and opened it, stepped inside. Then a pained gasp echoed through their ears. She turned to see Nabiki holding the door open, a thorn in her stomach. Nabiki! Akane ran to her. Nabiki held out a hand to stop her. It's okay, Akane. She winced. As long as that box is there, I won't go away completely. Then she grabbed the door and began to close it. Several black veins came up her neck. Akane, light could beat back to darkness. You just need to look for it. Akane tried to grab the door and pull it open. No! Don't do this to me! I love you, Nabiki whispered in a voice cracking with compassion. A small gaze fell on Akane before the door swung shut. Akane screamed as she beat on the door. No! Don't leave me! She slumped to the ground. No! She punched the ground. No! Dr. Lin pulled back in shock. Oh no. Ranma got up from his sitting position. What's going on? Are they okay? Dr. Lin closed her eyes and took a deep breath. She's in too deep for me. It's up to her now. She watched as Akane's hand grew black veins. Dr. Lin! Akane almost screamed. Dr. Lin! She looked down. I'm almost alone. She took a deep breath. I can do this. Nabiki's counting on me. She then ran up the stairs to where she knew Nabiki's room was. She kicked it open, racing to Nabiki's desk, riffling through the doors. Come on! Come on! Her eyes caught a faint, pulsating glow emanating from the drawer. She pulled it open and revealed the treasury box glowing bright light. There! She put it in her jacket pocket and a relieved sigh. At that point, a vine broke through the window, causing Akane to duck. Akane glared at the thing that writhed and twitched. All right, bastard. You want her? You'll have to go through me! She ran out the room and down the stairs. She looked up as the vines began to break through the walls. She ran out of the room, dodging the vines and breaking through the walls of the house before heading towards the dojo. I'll wait right here for you! The doors to the dojo broke down. Several vines came before converging into a single entity. The entity began to take shape of Nabiki, long thorny dress covering her body, her skin pale and eyes blood red. She watched, the dojo around her breaking down with decay. I really gotta stop letting him play Silent Hill! Akane got into a fighting stance, decided to christen this beast Hana in her mind. She paused, waiting for Hana to make her move. Hana held out its palm, the skin peeling back to reveal a black thorny vine that shot out at Akane. Akane moved to the side, dodging the vine, before running towards Hana and punching her in the chest. Hana grabbed Akane's fist, glaring at her before punching Akane aside, sending her sliding across the dojo floor. Akane's hand dragged along the floor as she caught herself. She ran around a circle before launching herself into a kick at Hana's face. Hana fell back before holding her hand back, spraying her fingers to her fist to produce a vine before swiping at Akane's chest. There was a crack as Akane brought up an arm to block against the black vine. She screamed in pain as she slid across the ground. She panted as she looked at her arm, seeing the bloody holes where the thorns pierced her skin. Hana walked towards Akane, a sneer across her face before she punched at her. Akane moved to the side, then she ducked to the ground as a vine broke through the beast's arm. Then she did a punch to Hana's gut. The stomach pulled through several vines that grabbed Akane's hand, forcing her to pull back from it. Akane barely took a breath before Hana backhanded her to a wall, sending her some bokan on the ground. Akane grabbed one and held it in front of her. She panted as she ran towards Hana. Hana held it out her hands with palms outstretched. Vines sprouted from the palms, striking towards Akane. Akane swung her bokan into one vine, sending it to the ground. Before it could twirl itself around the wooden sword, Akane swung it to the other vine, swinging it away. A third vine sprouted from Hana's chest, hitting Akane in the chest. It began to trail up Akane's neck. Looked at her. Akane grunted as he clawed at the vine. Akane was in vain. Ranma stepped. Akane! He then felt a gentle hand on his shoulder. Kasumi pushed him back down before walking to Akane's side. She took Akane's free hand and held it close to her face. Akane, can you hear me? She closed her eyes with a single tear. I'm so sorry. I tried my best to be the big sister everyone can rely on. But it seems I'm failing, aren't I? She sniffed. I wish I could be there to help you. Please, Akane, do what I can and protect her. I love you both so much. Kasumi leaned down, kissed Akane on the forehead, her tear falling. Okay. Does anybody have the Power of Love on standby? The Sailor Moon version? You could also play the Sailor Star song. I don't care anymore. I'll just be here reading. A tear landed on Akane's cheek, causing her to gasp. Kasumi! A bright light came from Akane's body, burning the vine and causing Hana to recoil with a hiss. Akane landed, looking down at the ground. She slowly got up and looked at the beast. Nabiki, I know you can hear me. She looked at her fist. But I need to talk. She does the vine coming at her. Kasumi, I love her. Well, she was always more mom than sister, you know. Hana glared at her, reaching one hand back and punching with another vine. Akane dodged to the side again, looking straight at Hana. When she told me that I wasn't feminine enough, I was hurt. Yeah, I was. To be honest, I only listened because I wanted to impress Dr. Tofu. She smiled. He never looked my way, of course, but someone did. She jumped away as Hana swiped with a vine. And that someone said he liked my short hair. And you know what? I agree. You want to know why? She punched the next vine, causing a bright light to burn the vine completely off. Either that or the Japanese version of You Raise Me Up. Sorry, I love Romeo and Juliet. Because of you! You were my big sister! The one I always hang out with! The one I looked up to! Akane grabbed another vine, the creature tossed at her, burning with light. It was always you, Nabiki! Yeah, we had our fights. Yes, there were times when you were awful to me. But you know what? You're my sister! It'd be weird if I didn't fight with you every now and then. Akane walked closer, tossed the burning vine away. If you had looked back on that day, I was crying, because I wanted to spend some time with you. If you had let me, I would have taken your hand instead. Several vines were striking at her, but a barrier of light burned each one. I'm sorry for not seeing your pain. If I had known what was going on, well, I would have stopped at nothing to make you feel better. Hell, I'll even help you get together with Kuno if you want. She pulled the glowing fist back as she got right up to Hana. Because I love you, big sister. She punched Hana through the chest with a powerful crunch. Oh yeah, definitely you raised me up. Hana let out a monstrous roar of pain as the light emanated from Akane's fist all through her body, disintegrating her to dust. The bright light filled Akane's eyes. Akane was sitting on a bed in a familiar room. This is Nabiki's room. She reached into her pocket and pulled out the box. It's here. Akane grinned before looking left and right. She reached for the top. It was then snatched from her. That's close for a reason, Akane. Nabiki was looking down at her. She was dressed in a yellow tank top and blue shorts. Akane pouted. But I wanted to see what was inside. Nabiki stared at her side. Well, there are lots of things in here. But I'm only going to show you one thing. So he opened it, rummaged through, and pulled out a single photo. Here. So he sat down next to Akane, letting Akane lean on her shoulder. This? So he showed a picture of the 10 notes at a temple, dressed in kimonos. Akane was being held by a smiling Nabiki. It's the last time we went to Kyoto. We were so happy. It's the last trip we went on with Mom. A small tear came to Nabiki's eye. Jeez. So he wiped it with a single finger. Now you got me getting emotional. Akane closed her eyes. That's okay. I won't tell. She slowly disappeared into the light. Suda Kasumi sat in a sterile office, a sense of unease washing over them. In front of them, Dr. Lin was tapping her clipboard with a pen. Akane and Nabiki seem to be both fine. Kasumi looked down at her lap, barely speaking above the whisper. But what if it happens again? Lin shook her head. You only get Hanaki once and never again. Sid gulped as he sobbed. And Nabiki? How? Do we have to do anything? Well, since you've been through the therapy process, you might notice a change in her. It'll be subtle, but you won't even notice for a few days. Kasumi watched as Nabiki, Akane, and Ranma left her school. So he waved them off, only to pause as he saw Nabiki look back at her with a sad look in her eyes. You won't have to do a thing except be as loving as possible, Lin said with smiling. How do we prevent this from happening to anyone else? Kasumi asked, her voice trembling. Communicate openly and honestly. That's all you need to do. Nabiki produced the photos and handed them to Kuno. 1,000 yen. 500 if you want a exclusive bonus. Bonus? Kuno asked. He produced a 500 yen coin. What is it? Nabiki handed him a manila envelope and winked him while walking off. Kuno watched her off before opening the envelope to reveal a picture of Nabiki in a revealing bikini winking at the camera. Kuno blushed before pocketing the picture. What did Akane see? That's something Nabiki and Akane will tell you. In time, Lin said. As with all things, it takes time. Akane looked left and right before going to the shelf and pulling out the box. Now, what else did he keep in here? Akane! Nabiki's voice cut through the air as he appeared in her doorway. Her arms were crossed as he glared at Akane across the room. Akane let out a squeak before Nabiki took the box from her hands. How did you ever find this? Nabiki asked before putting it back on her desk. I just wanted to see other things besides the photo. Photo? Nabiki turned to her. How did you... She was interrupted by Akane wrapping her arms around her. Kasumi walked by Nabiki's room before stopping to peer through the doorway. Nabiki wrapped her own arms around Akane, pulling into an embrace. Nabiki's head leaned to Akane's shoulder to whisper something only Akane could hear. A single tear dropping from Nabiki's cheek. And oh, look at that! It's 40-something minutes. That's perfect for a cute little OV. And... No, little brother. You didn't make Kasumi or Soon sound too bad. They sounded like flawed human beings. We all have this tendency to say or do something we don't even think about. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's what makes us human. And now, for Princess Tutu. Surely there's not going to be anything that's going to make me think deeply about the world in Princess Tutu! But seriously, little brother, if you're listening to this, you're never allowed to play Silent Hill again!